I don't really get why we are yet again bombing the Middle East. 20 years ago, when I was in elementary school, it made sense. 9/11, terrorism, America the savior. We defend freedom, trust us, we're the government, we're here to help. Afghanistan, well, they attacked us. Iraq, they had WMDs. But then we stayed. For 20 years, sent our people to the grave. I'm sure we helped, I'm sure we did some good, but when it drags on year after year, decade after decade, and nothing seems to change, except the enemy names. First, they were in the Afghani hills, then the cities, then we left, and no matter how we propped the proper government up, spent money, sent weapons, food, engineers, soldiers, guided them to make more equitable laws, the old world, it seemed, claws itself back again. And all the people who said we should stay and work and help, somehow they just couldn't stand up by themselves. I don't know the reality. I was young. I just heard stories of villages fighting each other, tribal conflicts, family squabbles over who's in charge of public security no one could guarantee, leaky borders with lukewarm countries, a seemingly endless supply of explosives and angry young men. Hundreds of thousands of people apparently despise whatever we're doing over there. And no matter how much time, money, or blood we spend, the conflict never actually ends. In theory, in elementary school, it's simple, right? You go in, blow up the bad guys, then organize all the surviving leaders of both the franchise and the unfranchised, and lock them in a room until they agree to a basic set of laws they can all live with. Then we get the hell out before any of this becomes our problem. They organized themselves before, they can do it again. And if they screw up and keep attacking our country, then we hit them back until they learn not to mess with us. But in the meantime, we certainly don't mess with them. If they can't stand up by themselves, then supporting them with our third leg isn't going to fix that. It just means they'll fall over again later. Now, our influence can be used to stop other countries from abusing the situation, but that's about the extent of the help, creating a basic balance. Because it's the same story, right? Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, and now Iran. There's some chaos, people are fighting each other, we drop some bombs, they keep fighting, we drop more bombs, they continue to fight, we decide to support one side or another. They still can't win, because it turns out that each side, no matter how evil or belligerent we think they may be, still has millions of people who support them fighting whoever the enemy is. It's like weeding the front yard. Either you poison the ground year after year after year, doing who knows what harm to yourself and the land, or you work with the native plants and stop making the impossible happen. Now, it may make sense to continue working on your own yard, but your neighbor's yard or your neighbor's 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 yard, at some point there are diminishing returns in the traveling work, and your own house begins to suffer. Unseen, weeds spring up in corners, a drain is blocked by a root, mice nest in the walls, and foundation begins to crack. Way back when I was born, the Soviet Union was messing around in the Middle East, and we had a stake in making sure that they did not on either a democratic or a military-friendly carcass feast. We could have picked better and moral friends, of course, but at least there was a theory to follow about what actions to take. Eventually, protecting oil supplies became important, so Desert Storm sort of made sense. Terrorism hit us from Afghanistan, so we just hit back, even if our aim was a little broad. From what I understand, Iraq was the step too far, because there was nothing to replace the scars we made except another terrorist array. Libya and Syria, where we supported the side, but not enough to actually go move in force, just enough to keep our oar in treading water and making waves. 20 years we've spent doing the same thing, bombing the same places, killing the same people, and for what? Are there strong democracies out there now? Is there no terrorism? Did the people stop fighting themselves? We picked a side, we slowed the tide, we saved some lives, but I don't know that we've fixed or helped anything. As far as I know, terrorist attacks still happen every day in every country we've interfered in. We're trying, or at least that's what our government is telling us. Just a little further, a little farther, we can do this. But I don't know that we can. If I've learned anything, it's that we cannot make peace happen. We cannot make a democracy rise up from nothing. There must be something functioning to work with, a hope to reach for, a grand plan, a clear picture of what 10 years from now will look like and how to get there. From where I am standing in the United States today, my biggest gripe with all these conflicts is that nobody seems able to say the actions they take will actually lead to a lasting peace. All they have is quiet in my time. Quiet for 5 more years. But then the conflict will just reappear. As far as I can tell, that has been the play for my entire lifetime. Israel and Palestine are the most obvious example of two groups negotiating in bad faith, both supported by outside powers who do not trust or believe the other side, made up of two ethnic or religious groups, and who both claim to speak for an entire race, never mind that there are, even within their own state, other sides and other views. Nobody has a long-term plan except hoping that the other side magically disappears, and meanwhile the regular folk, who have no say in government because the legal system says their vote doesn't matter, continue to live in fear. India and Pakistan are squabbling over Kashmir. Syria is barely holding together. Iran and Israel are tossing missiles. Yemen closes the Red Sea. Sudan is going up in flames. Sparks are spreading through the Sahel. The Gulf states are in a proxy war. And now we have joined in again, picking a side, hoping they win. But even if Iran's government fails, there are 90 million people in that country who will remember and recall being bombed. Honestly, if I was any country on the planet with the ability to make a nuclear bomb, I would construct one post-haste. Do you think that someone would try this? An undeclared assault on major military bases with Russia, or China, or India, or Britain? The nuclear powers rule the world for a good reason. And if you aren't one of them, or allied under their umbrella, then you can only push so hard before they push back. I think many middle-income countries are going to learn that from this attack. So my question is not only, is the world safer because we've spent 20 years fighting in the Middle East, but specifically, are we safer because we've spent 20 years fighting in the Middle East? I'm not sure the answer is yes. Europe has a great interest in peace, refugees, and open seas around the Middle East. And yet we, literally on the other side of the planet, are interfering 10 times more. It's already not at peace. The overwhelming number of refugees can't walk to us, and our marine trade generally does not go through the Persian Gulf or the Red Sea. China sends money. India doesn't do much. Russia has a mercenary touch. Are we fighting their influence? Is that what this is about? Did the Cold War never end and nobody just told the American public? There was oil there, and still is, but now we produce our own, and have the technology to literally draw forth electrical and motive power by means of standing in the sun. Why wouldn't we focus on that instead of stabilizing the oil price? We support various regimes, but also don't want the dominoes to fall as they may. We don't trust in that way. So we continue trying to demand that things be done how we decide they should be done. Never mind that our activity has not led to a general peace in the last 36,000 days. How many US citizens today truly believe that we've done more harm than good with our money and our bombs? More than I was young. Many more than when I was young. Most people I talk to think that we have made the world a more dangerous place, not a safer one. And yeah, we want to make the world a better and safer place, but instead it feels, to someone who's grown up hearing about these endless wars in the Middle East, that all we've done in the last 20 years is to lose both face and faith. We can afford to lose one, but not both.